The Doc. The Doctor. Dr. Disrespect. So I'm going to say some shit now. It'll probably upset some people. But I'm a fan of the Doc. So caveat, right? Big fan of the Doc. I've said that the Doctor is the pinnacle of Twitch streaming. I don't think there's been a better streamer on Twitch. I don't think there's been any. I think he's really pushed the medium into an area which I'm super excited by, and I'm very interested to see who is inspired by the Doctor and what comes next. And let me just clarify that statement. The Doctor is, a guy who literally, and this is why I can respect it. When I do a podcast, me and Sam, we pull up news stories and we riff and we try and be funny and we try and make jokes, and that's our whole thing. That's our shtick, right? Like, we are doing improvisational comedy based on things that we find. We don't rehearse anything. We go in, and I think to be funny and entertaining for just 2 hours with just shit you're making up on the fly. That's why I'm proud of the podcast and proud of the chemistry that me and Sam have, because it might just look like two dudes talking, but always ticking over in the back of the mind is, how do we make this funny? How do we make it entertaining? When do we need to be serious? When do we need to be informative? It's a balancing act, and we do it all on the fly, all on the cuff. So I know how hard that is. And the Doctor is literally doing free-form comedy through the medium of games with a character he's invented for hours and hours and hours at a time to make so many memorable moments, so many clippable moments, never breaking character, never corpsing, never doing anything, doing live fan interaction, answering questions, unparalleled production level for like almost any streamer that's been on there. This guy is fucking great at what he does. No fucking doubt about it. Anybody who tries to say he wasn't like streamer of the year or whatever is a piece of shit, and obviously didn't watch him because, hang on. Right, now I definitely do need to wash my hands, but there you go. Right, there you go. Oh, what a fucking slob. No wonder you pissed on the floor that Henry slept in. Yeah. Read my YouTube comment, you fucking idiots. So anyway. Right, so, yeah, and bless me, for I have sinned. So the Doctor is amazing at what he does. He's a fucking great guy, great entertainer, and definitely has raised the bar for what a Twitch stream can be. Not just a little picture of, I'm playing a game, and I'm going to act super overexcited about everything. Donate to me! That's pretty much what Twitch had become. It really stagnated and was stale. IRL gave it a shot in the arm. Now you've seen all this new cool shit come out. But the Doctor really elevated the game of what being an in-game streamer is about. Now, here's what I will say. It's been very clear to me that the success has certainly, I don't want to say changed the Doctor guy, because I don't know him, but he's had such a meteoric rise where you go from like being just another guy, another face, 18 months ago, a bit of a sort of like cool secret if you knew where to find him, to literally being the face of the platform, to breaking all of these records. Fastest channel to 1 million, all of this stuff. And
lick my balls.
People, cheers for the sub, Zach LCS. Sorry, I need to be on this one now. There's no two ways about it. Success changes people. And not only that, I'm going to say why. You get access to opportunities that you didn't have before. You are put in positions that you didn't have before. You are making money that you didn't have before. So let's just make a hypothetical scenario. Somebody, can be anybody, male or female, which is important to this, gets famous, gets big, right? You've made it. You've got money coming in. Everybody knows who you are. You exist in celebrity. Why do celebrities have a different quality of life to just regular folk, like just us, right? Why? Well, this is why. Because the money and the influence and the status creates these like scenarios that no regular person is ever going to be in. And that is that I can walk into a bar now and say, drinks on everyone. And everyone's like, wow, look at this dude. And then I'm partying. People are filming it and everyone thinks I'm cool. I can be like fucking Ric Flair. Woo! woo, non-stop, beautiful women everywhere, you know, like if they're impressed by the finances, or if they just happen to like overweight bald men, you know, like that chick in that episode of Louis, you know, whatever it is. But you've made an entrance, people notice you. If you're already that famous that you walk into the bar and people know who the fuck you are, you've already got a leg up on relationships, friendships, you know, people coming over and talking to you. You will never be alone. You will have, you'll quickly also build up an entourage. People who, maybe they're your friends, cheers for the sub, Regalak3, people who, that you really like, you care about them, and you want to bring them along for the fucking ride because, hey, at least one of us made it, right? I mean, I'm a big proponent of that. You know, I always try and help out people I've met along the way in esports and outside of esports, like my boy, Gareth Wood, best living writer on the planet right now. This is how it works, right? Like, so you get an entourage. You know, this is one of the things that affects sportsmen in America, musicians in America. There's mouths to feed. There's people to look after. There's considerations. You're trying to share the wealth out, you know. All of these things are happening. But on top of that, there's all these extra commitments. You've got to go and travel to places. You've got to have meetings. When you're not on stream, you're on TV, you're on a plane, you're out there, and you're going to find yourself in these situations when you've got this free time. Here I am. I've got all this free time. How do I fill the spaces in between? You know, I can't be with my wife or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or my husband, but I'm in a hotel and people know who I am and people want to talk to me and I'm feeling a little bit lonely and isolated and maybe I'm drunk and tired. And you know, this is celebrity. People, you don't get told how to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it. I'm not even Z-list. Right? I get recognized in the street. People have asked me for a selfie, an autograph, outside of esports events. I had an Uber driver who watches E-League drive me. Brewdog, still making some of the best beers on planet Earth. Check them out. They always hook me up. Great company. Anyway, you know, and even if, right, even if you weren't getting recognized and it's not all, you know, people act differently around you immediately. You got money that you didn't have before. So even if people didn't recognize you, this sounds bad, right? But hear me out, okay? Let's say you've got money and you're an ugly dude or you're an ugly chick, right? And you want to get some attention. It's a phone call away. Just saying. I know. I lived in Vegas. I know, okay? I know about the guy that is employed by the hotel who finds you these people and makes them go away after you've paid them. This is real, okay? So money can get you shit. That's what's great about having money. It won't fill your existential hole. That's why millionaires are all miserable. But it will get you shit to you know, fucking just fill that gap temporarily. What's your taste? What's your pleasure? What's your poison? Booze, drugs, women, men, whatever it is. Boom, you can have it at the drop of a fucking hat, right? But more often than not as well, you've got this time that you need to fill, and you've got to have it. So, I don't know if you've seen how streamers and YouTubers are living. The big guys. I have. I've been around it. It's insane. It's insane. It is, you know, pitfall after pitfall after pitfall that you have got to kind of hurdle and circumnavigate. People want to sleep with you. Are they filming it? Are they recording it? Mad paranoia. Who was it who fucking said this to me? I can't even remember. But I won't name their name. Hang on, let me just see if it comes to me. Oh shit, yeah. Such an unlikely motherfucker who said this. But I knew a dude, this is recent, who sort of is in my orbit, you know, in my space. And he had one of them girls that sells, you know, lewds on Patreon, messaging him, right? And saying, you know, we should totally hook up and we should do this and do that and come up to my room and like all this like weird shit. They were at like a few events together, and it was like, can like one of the messages was something like, my iron doesn't work in my room. Can you come up and maybe fix it? Like, what porn script nonsense is this? Anyway, the guy that I know was like, I couldn't bring myself to go up there and do it. And I was like, well, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? Like, why not? And they were saying, what if, this person's already got like videos and stuff out there? What if they filmed it? And that's like, think about that level of fucking paranoia, right? To live your life by. Every streamer, and by the way, they're right. They're right to do it because you live your life 24/7 on camera. That's what people think, but you actually don't. You got your secrets. You got your you time. And the more people, the more strangers you start bringing into that you time, the more it's compromised. The more people can enter that space and fucking abuse you and use you and manipulate you and take advantage of you, blackmail you. You've got to protect yourself, so you've got to not take risks. And sometimes some of the best things in life, it's a good risk, isn't it? It's a good risk. It's having sex with a stranger. Like it's fucking, going to a party where you don't know anybody. Or, hey, come for a drive. I'm totally not going to rob you. Risks. Gets the heart racing. You fucking love it. That's what we live for. You're here once, take a risk. But when you're a streamer and your entire life is based around everything lick you control. Thanks for the sub, Matty L at 728. You control a persona. You control a view of you. You only know the Richard Lewis that I show to you, right? All of this could be disingenuous lies. I mean, I don't have the wherewithal to do that. That's why I think people say, you come across as genuine, either a genuine asshole or a genuine nice guy. It just depends on your personal feelings.
Lick my balls.
And thanks as well, Carnathy. Thanks for the sub. And it's 8 months as well for Matty LS. Thank you. So when you all of that is controlled. All of that is controlled. Even on an IRL stream where it's like, we're going out partying tonight, and you're like, oh my god, look, he's drunk and wasted and puking, and oh my god, it's like I'm there. It ain't, because that camera goes off, boop, and they become somebody else, and they do something else that they don't want to show you. And they should be entitled to that, by the way. Everybody should have that in their life, a private space. But if you start bringing people into it, it becomes fucked up. It becomes compromised. You're paranoid. You're miserable. There's so many people out there that would love to get dirt on a streamer to blackmail them for money, or just to make a name for themselves, just by bringing them down, just by exposing them. And again, this is what I mean when I say it's not a gender issue. I know guys who have I know of guys. I absolutely wouldn't talk to somebody who's done this, but I know of guys who have taken nudes from girls and stuff. And then what they, and then they've used the prospect of releasing those nudes to get more nudes or cyber. It's fucking gross, isn't it? Modern relationships when you're not famous are a fucking mess. So when you exist in that world can be lonely. It can be miserable. It can be stressful. Maybe you do things that you're not really about. Right? But equally, you're on the road. You're everywhere. And you think to yourself, fuck it, there's an ego inside all of us, right? And it says, the little voice inside you, the little ego troll, looks up and it says to the brain, it goes, you deserve this. You've earned this. You deserve this. You can have anything you want. You earned it. Because you and that ego troll, they know everything you went through. They know about the work. They know about getting up at fucking 6 a.m. every fucking day, working till fucking 2 a.m. at night, cruising by on 4 hours sleep, sleeping on couches, eating ramen. They know about all of that. They know about all of that. You and the ego troll have that synergy of knowing all the shit you sacrificed and everything you went through to get to where you are today. The only difference is, this part of you is balanced. It's got other things to go alongside the ego troll to temper out that voice. But when you start listening just to the fucking ego troll, the ego troll tells you you're entitled to everything. You can have it now. It's yours. You fucking struggled for 10 years. Now you got money. Now you got fame. Now you got whatever the fuck you want on tap 24/7. Go get it. This is what you did it for, isn't it? Didn't you do it for this? Didn't you do it for this? Don't you deserve this? When you're on the fucking road, right? Trust me, when you're alone in that hotel room and you're staring at a ceiling, thinking about the partner back home, the wife back home, the husband back home, the friends back home, and you're just lying there and they ain't around, and the ego troll's going, why aren't you down at the fucking casino right now, high rolling, gambling, looking like a baller? Why are you sat in your hotel room waiting for a fucking FaceTime message that might not come because she's a little bit sleepy? What are you doing with your life? Listen to me, the ego troll. Get out there. And trust me, when you are hearing that all the time, because there's no other voice around, there's no one else to drown it out. Nobody's shouting over the ego troll, right? What do? It's just you and the ego troll. So some of us, not always, but now and then, we listen to the ego troll. We listen to it. We say, you know what? Mr. Troll, you're all right, brother. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. That's the other thing. Without an ego, you'll never get nothing done. Your life is a waste. You got to have one. But it's about keeping it in the cage, man. Like, if it gets bigger than the cage, you're going to have a bad time. If it's just in the corner in the cage, feed me, then you're going to have a bad time as well, right? It's just opposite ends of the spectrum. You need a healthy, you let the ego troll out the cage now and then. It has to walk around. Oh, you're not putting me back in that cage, are you, Rich? Yeah, I am actually, mate, because you're fucking mental. Back you go. That's how you got to live your life, right? So, when you listen to the ego troll, which you do on occasion, it's addictive, man. Like, you are literally getting what you want remorselessly, without consequence, without incident. It feels fucking great. You juxtapose in a moment of pure baller reality. You juxtapose it with the old you. You juxtapose it with the misery and the suffering and the struggle and the time you didn't have money and you couldn't wear clothes. Look, I can identify with this. 7 years ago, I want to say, there or thereabouts. So, I'm trying to think when it was. Anyway, a lot of people already know about this. It's out there. I don't give a fuck. I took basically a massive hit of all kinds of stuff. I wanted to check out. I had a bad breakup. I wasn't feeling right. Esports was going nowhere. I just wanted to fucking check out, and it got passed off as partying too much. But I was psychotically trying to end my life, just in a big, fucking flurry or whatever. I came out of that. I had no money. I survived it. I ended up in a cardiac hospital for, I don't know, till I checked myself out. And I came out, and it was still esports, and it was still shit. And I had nothing. I was 30, right? And I had, well, not 30. I was 28 or something at the time, 29. I don't know the exact year. It's about 8 years ago. I had holes in my shoes. I was a grown ass man living in a house, with holes in my shoes, and not making any money. And I couldn't do it. I thought, fuck. Well, it's just a matter of time before I try this again. But then esports started taking off, and slowly but surely, I clawed my way to where I am today. And you know what? Thank fuck I didn't take an extra gram of this or an extra pill of that, because I like this shit. That's why I say to people, if you're ever thinking about checking out, it might not always get better, but it definitely won't get better if you ain't here. So you got to fucking tough it the fuck out. Talk to someone, do whatever you have to do. But trust me, as somebody that has gone through that, I'd have been a dumb motherfucker if I wasn't here for this. So anyway, every time I had one of my egotistical moments, it always comes back to being in that cardiac ward. Always comes back to having holes in my shoes. Always comes back to breaking up with that chick that fucking cheated on me. That moment. And I think, you know what? I fucking earned this. Give me that fucking, give me that booze. Give me that whiskey. Give me this. Give me that. Come on, guys. Let's fucking go. I've got money now. Come on. Let's go spend it. Boom, 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 boom. Buying drinks for everyone. Balling out of control. But I only do it now and then. I'm never going to blow the fuck up. I'm never going to be a sex scandal or a sex tape. I just take the ego troll out the box once. We have a little play. I end up with a hangover, and we just all go back to normal life. And I go back to my work ethic and doing the content, and doing the show, talking to my fans. Those are the things that matter. I'll never let my ego get out of control. Now, I don't think the doc, see, we're looping back in. It's all coming back. Keep all of that in mind. I don't think the doc actually did keep his ego troll in the cage. I don't think he did. Look, it must be incredibly hard for him because he's got more fucking subs than the fucking Catholic Church. He's making bank. He's got, he's got everything. He's got it all. He goes to places. People fall over themselves to talk to him. I saw it at the Esports Awards. I talked to him briefly in an elevator. He didn't know who the fuck I was. But he talked. We had a little brief chat. And he was smashed, by the way. He was wasted. A lot of people, when he got up and he gave that speech about how, we do it all for the fans and this is why I do it. And, people tell me about how they're killing themselves, thinking about killing themselves. And I'm so happy I'm there for all of them. It was a very weird speech. A lot of people said, oh, it's brilliant. He got all emotional and teared up. He was probably drunk, definitely was incoherent. The message wasn't as powerful as it could be. It was a really long, strange speech. But because it's the doc, everybody just pretended it was like the best speech ever made. It was up there with fucking, you know what I mean? Like Martin Luther King or something. The reality is, you could see there at that event, sat on the celebrity table with all the other celebs, that he was already kind of in that mode, in that negative mode, right? So, for me, it's probably obvious that he's had a slip on the road, maybe one or two. The next question is, why the fuck would you go public about it? And how many subs do I think the doc has? I mean, didn't he have like 30,000 subs at one point? Maybe more? I don't know. It's mad. I don't know. But he had the most subs on fucking Twitch or something ridiculous. He broke a record. I think it's like between him and Shroud or something. And anyway, trust me, again, you're just out there drunk. Bad decisions. People are going to keep testing your resolve, and you got the ego troll to deal with. I sympathize. I do sympathize. And I will say this. There's a particular grotesque quality to the people criticizing him for cheating on his wife. Now, cheating on your married partner, it ain't great. But the only person it affects is your married partner and possibly your kids if they ever find out about it. Especially if it leads to a divorce. Yeah. But many a marriage has been fine after infidelity. David Beckham. Do you remember Rebecca Lewis? I'm going to tell you about Rebecca Lewis. Rebecca Lewis was like a PA, an intern, or whatever the fuck, who was like handling David Beckham's business. David Beckham had been tapping Posh Spice since fucking God knows when, having kids. He had a slip, didn't he? He saw this PA who was like throwing herself at him, and he had a slip. And again, I'm not saying all men are okay to slip, but when women do it, it's sluts. Nah, everyone has a slip. Man, woman. This isn't a gendered issue for me. Okay? This is just about sexuality, and, we create this monogamous ideal, and humans aren't really cut out for that. Honestly, I don't believe that. I think we've got appetites. I think this is why divorces are high. Divorce is just a way of saying we'd like to fuck other people, without all the insecurities and weirdness. Pretty much one of the biggest causes of divorce. That and the fact you just can't stand the other person you're with, It's like either a personality thing or a sex thing. It's pretty much all divorce. That's my opinion. I'm not even going to pull statistics out. It's just my gut feeling, So, anyway, David Beckham had this slip with this chick called Rebecca Lewis. And Rebecca Lewis fucking sold her story to the press, right? And fucking, and I don't blame her for that neither. You fuck David Beckham. He was like one of the most famous motherfuckers on the planet, and you had proof of it because they'd sexted each other. And you're going to get a fuck ton of money for that and attention. She got on a TV show. And again, Google this right now. Rebecca Lewis, Loos. She got on a reality TV show called The Farm, I think it was. And she literally, this is no joke, on national television in the UK, why is this allowed? She masturbated a pig. This is real. This is real life. David Cameron was watching it going, fucking hell, that pig's got a pretty mouth. Right, she masturbated a pig, right? And she masturbated a pig because she was on a farm and it was like artificial insemination. So imagine being David Beckham, right? Your story's out, your marriage is jeopardized. The person that you were had an affair with is jerking off a fucking pig. What a nightmare. So, I know, it's Black Mirror, right? So anyway, Posh and Bex fucking made it through. You know, they just made it through. It was like, right, okay, I am sorry. I have to apologize to my wife, apologize to my kids if they have an understanding of what's going on because it happened publicly, but we can still make it through this. It was sex. I was stupid. It's sex, you know? We do crazy things. There's an old saying I got told, you know, by one of my uncles, and I live my life by it. When the dick is hard, the mind is soft. And it's, again, it's true for women as well. When passions are inflamed, you do crazy shit is the moral of the story. So anyway, they made it through. They fucking worked through it, you know? So it can be done. Now here's the problem. Here's the fucking problem. You're the doctor. Why has he gone public? This is where it gets interesting for me. There's 4 reasons the doc turns on his fucking stream and does that announcement. Because I don't need to know. It reminded me of Tiger Woods. You know, when he came out and he was going, oh, I'm real sorry, everybody. I'm really sorry. I just, you know, I cheated on my wife and I've let everybody down. You haven't let me down, Tiger. You haven't let me down at all. I just know you because you play golf and you used to have some really good fucking video games on the PS2. Tiger Woods Golf 2006 with a time travel mode was fucking sick. Just do the fucking thing. I don't give a fuck about anything except golf. Just do it. Play the golf. I don't care about what you do with your dick. Do the golf. I don't care. You don't need to apologize to me. Apologize to your wife. Apologize to your kids. So, why would Dr. say it, right? Why would he come out? Do this weird video of it. He's crying. He's out of character. He's just Guy Bream in that moment, right? And he's crying and apologizing to the Slick Daddy Club. So here's the 4 options why you do it. Option number 1. Option 1, he's being blackmailed. The person that he's cheated with is going to leak it, or it's already out there, or rumors were already circulating that it was going to come out. Somebody somewhere is going to drop the dime, okay? That's one reason why you would come out, get ahead of the story. At least if I publicly say it, you know, they can't hurt me now. I've hurt myself. It's like punching yourself in the face, knocking yourself out before a guy tries to beat you up. You know, you're like, well, I'm unconscious now, motherfucker. What are you going to do? Option 2. A journalist got a hold of it, and some journalists, as we've already established in the course of this wonderful little Q&A broadcast, some journalists are pieces of shit, and they'll be going into salacious stuff. Again, let me tell you, people come to me all the time and stuff like this. Oh, have you heard about who's fucking it? I don't care. And if my audience cared, I'd be a little bit disappointed in them. If you were ever looking to me, like, come on, hey, let's fire up the Richard Lewis show. See who's fucking who today. Like, I don't, you know, that's not important. It's none of your business. None of my business, none of your business. It's not in the public interest, unless maybe it's a politician and he's telling everyone not to fuck anyone. You know, if there's an element of hypocrisy involved, maybe. So, option 3 is Mrs. Disrespect has said to Guy, the only way this is ever gonna fucking work out is if you publicly cop to it, admit your transgressions, and experience a little bit of the humiliation that I feel. Right? So, and again, if you think that's outlandish, if you think that's wild or crazy, go on the internet and see other celebrity breakups or celebrity infidelity where, you know, they've kind of worked it out in the end, and how the caveat, and, you know, that leads to that, the catalyst that leads to them coming back is the party that actually partook of the infidelity basically publicly eating shit, and then everyone feels better about it because it's like balance, right? It's quid pro quo. Anybody, by the way, who goes, oh, well, that's a terrible thing to do. What an awful woman. What a cunt. You're a fucking loser. You're a degenerate incel. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You've obviously never been in a relationship. I'm going to come to you in just a fucking second. So if there's any in the channel right now, because I've been bookmarking your fucking tweets, we're gonna talk man to fucking man in a minute, right? And option 4, and these are the only 4 options. Option 4 involves the fucking ego troll. Imagine if you actually believed you were a role model to the degree that you thought you cheating on your long-term partner affected tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Imagine that. Imagine that level of fucking narcissism. Only an ego troll whispers that poison in your ear, like Grimer Wormtongue, that cunt from Lord of the Rings, who's next to Theoden. Perhaps we can be friends with Saruman. Yes, perhaps you really have hurt the children, Doctor, by cheating on your wife. It's poisonous nonsense. It doesn't matter. So, to me, option 4 is that his ego is so sort of still out of control to a certain degree. He does honestly believe he needs to publicly apologize to everybody for something that nobody in their right mind should really give a fuck about outside of his family unit, right? They're the only 4 options. There's no other option. Sorry if you think there is. There isn't. I'm right. You're fucking wrong. This is basic human behavior. They're your 4 options. Sorry, that's it. I don't give a fuck what wild theories you come up with. It's one of those 4. Pick one, right? Maybe we'll find out. Now, about those incels. About you poor, misguided fools. I have seen comments saying, Dr. Disrespect is a disgraceful human being for cheating on his wife. It is the worst thing. This is a quote. I'm not going to out the person who said this. It is the worst thing you can do to another human being. Let that sink in. Paul Joseph Watson, let that sink in. Cheating on your partner, your married partner, your spouse, is the worst thing you can do to another human being. Not the rape, not the murder, not the bodily harm. Right? The cheating. Right. Let me tell you some shit, right? Let me tell you some real shit. Okay. People are going to fucking cheat. I've been with girls who cheated on me. We were actually all right. We worked through it. And sometimes we didn't. I've cheated on girls. And, either they didn't find out because I was handling my business. Not proud of it, but just did what I did. This is just shit that happened. And some knew. And it was like, well, sorry. I'm young. Wild oats, whatever, not an excuse. Maybe we can still do this, All of these people that are saying the doc has done something evil and reprehensible, they're like these fucking guys who fucking say, Dr. Disrespect, this is a typical incel response to the Dr. Disrespect thing. If I was like the doctor, I would never cheat. He doesn't know how lucky he is, and if I had a girlfriend, I would treat her like a princess, but I don't, and I never have, but I would. I would treat her like a princess. I would treat her like a princess, but why can't the doctor treat women like princesses when I would? You're full of shit. You're an idiot. You've never been in a relationship. You've got a frame of fucking reference, and you're talking about adult stuff that you're never going to experience till you get your fucking shit together and get your fucking head out your ass. You fucking clowns. Don't judge that. Ridiculous. Sure, he owes his wife an apology. I hope him and his wife can work through it, right? But we don't know the extent of it. We don't know how often it is. One slip, you might get a pass. 10, right? Well, fuck that then, right? And I hope for the kids, right, that they can work it out. But you know what? If they don't, it doesn't make him less of a man. It doesn't make him an instantly evil person. Failing amigo, thanks for the cheers as soon as I figure out what they are. Do I have Bitcoin now? I'm not kidding. Am I a millionaire? I hope they can work it out, all parties, in a way that they can live with and be happy with. And that's the only rational response. That's it. End of discussion. End of hot takes. If they get back together and they're happy and he comes back and he puts a mustache on and he never wants to mention it again, brilliant. If they don't and they separate and he still has a great career and his wife goes on to bigger and better things and the kids aren't too badly affected, brilliant. These are all potentially positive outcomes. I'm sure it's suboptimal for their lives that this has happened, this blip in the road, but, you know, it happens. Relationships are tricky. Sex is tricky. It's all complicated. The people condemning somebody to death for cheating on their partners. You've obviously never been in a relationship. You've obviously never walked that line. So there it is. Is that it? 81 bitcoins. Is that what I got? What's that worth on the market now? There it is. That's the doctor. That's the take. You know, look, nothing is going to bring you crashing down to fucking earth harder than this. Like, that ego troll just got smacked in the balls, didn't it? Like, God, there are consequences for my actions. Who knew? But that's it. The extent of the consequences. If the man ends up losing his family and coming to regret it, isn't that punishment enough? Does you really need you fucking losers out there fucking adding to it? Well, that's what you get now. What was the address for Mrs. Disrespect? I would like to send her some flowers because I'm a virtue signaling loser who's never been in a relationship. Perhaps she will like me. No. He's still more of a man than you. You bottom feeders. Right, there we go. How many hours have we done? God, it's starting to take.